garden now. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Go get you some potting soil and put it in a bucket, a shoe, a boot. I don't care what you grow something in.
Well, welcome to Just So You Know, I am your host, Alethea Jenkins. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I'm so excited to be here with you today and also equally as excited for you to join me and just hang out with me for a little while. What do I do on this channel? I encourage accountability amongst women and I clear up a lot of the blurred lines that society throws at us because Lord knows these days we need a voice of truth in our world.
You can't handle the truth.
And so when they said, "Who gonna tell the truth?" I raised my hand. I was like, "Girl, I'll tell the truth." Because listen, that is not only who I am, I was named the truth because that's what my name means in Greek. So, what are we talking about today? The precious beloved lead farmer. Now, that was the guy that you saw in pre-clip. The lead farmer is a guy, he's a survivalist. And I love watching him because he's going to tell you how to grow some stuff. He's going to tell you how to survive in this thing if this thing go belly up in this country. However, he has some other viewpoints that I feel like need to be explored and we need to be paying attention to. And I titled this show what I titled it because really this has been coming for quite some time. This has been actually coming since pre-pandemic. It's been going in this direction. And so what we're seeing now is the birthing of what has been coming. I just believe that there are some things that we need to do in order to be prepared as it unwinds and declines, right? And because I believe that women are the keepers of the home, not that the men can't be the keepers of the home as well, but that since women are essentially the first keepers of the home, that we need to have our mind all the way together in order to be successful in this time period that we have going on right here today. And we're going to listen to a little bit more of the lead farmer's message that I saw on this show. And I mean, he was really going in. And I enjoyed it because I feel like it doesn't always have to be a celebrity that tell you something. I feel like wisdom is out in these streets. You can go outside and look at a billboard and it will inspire you to go left or right. You understand what I'm saying? So it does not have to be a celebrity for the message that the person is bringing to add some truth to your life, right? And I think one of the first things that I want to talk about is this pre-clip. The pre-clip is all about growing some stuff. Listen, let me tell you something. In these days and times, everybody seems like they got a little something going on. And all you got to do is go to your local Walmart, your local grocery store. It doesn't matter which chain it is, Publix. It don't matter. Everybody got a little something going on with the food. And I think it's the industry as a whole. So around 2020, when everybody started, on their health kick just due to the COVID-19 virus and things like that, everybody started to try to eat a little bit healthier because we understood, okay, if I'm going to make it through these times, I need to have my health game on 10 or 110, put it to you like that. So we started, and I'm saying as a whole, a lot of people around the world started to eat a little bit more holistically, take some things out of their diet, get a little bit more exercise. But at the point we are now, in many areas, and I'm just going to say many because I know it's not all areas, but in many areas, I'd be doggone if the food ain't looking right. Okay. So whereas you were able to go to your local, um, whatever grocery chain that you shop at, Kroger, it didn't matter, and you were able to get quality produce, it's looking a little some kind of way. And it's been doing this for a while. And you'll see when you go to stores now, there are some areas that are bare. Everybody across the world been talking about these eggs. And we know that the issue happened with the eggs. So now, the prices have skyrocketed. We're talking about six, seven, eight, $9 eggs. Really? Is this what we're doing? So the message that he's bringing is, yeah. So like, you don't wait no longer in starting to grow some stuff. I don't give a you get a doggone boot or a bucket, whatever you get. Don't wait any longer because you don't have time. And I get that. Because here's what I don't have time for. I don't have time for the learning curve any longer. I don't have time to say, listen, I need this, but yet I got to learn how to do it. So here is my message in that, in concert with what he is saying. Listen, begin to go and buy you some little seeds and things. Now, I know that some of us live in apartment complexes, some of us living in townhouses. We ain't got no big yards and things like that. First advantage, if you are a homeowner, then you need to pivot your mind to some raised bed gardens because you need to know how to grow a tomato, a potato, some collards, something that you can eat. And I'm kind of getting my feet wet with both a little something that can be eaten, but also some things that I can use in a medicinal fashion. Things that I put into my tea, my mint, things that I make things with like dill. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm doing a little bit at a time at this point because I believe that maybe in the next 4 years we're going to be to the point to where you're going to have something of your own. And I just think that it's a serious matter. And if you're thinking that this is a game, and I know that this show is generally about women's issues, but this is woman's issue because I believe that we ought to be at the forefront of this movement right here. This um be able to eat from your own house type movement. We need to be at the forefront of this movement. So if you've been up under a rock, under the bed, you've been somewhere hiding during all the events that have been going on, take a look at just a few things that have been going on in our world since 2025. We just in March, y'all. What's that? January, February. We're not even 3 full months into the year. But take a look at what's been going on in the US of A. So, yeah, this is not for the faint of heart. And I just believe that it is high time that we got to get our hand parts in gear. And I do mean in a hurry. And, I know we want to talk about all the latest news and he said, she said, and the tea on this and the tea on that. But you got to start thinking about how much good is all of that going to do me in my household, lest this thing go belly up. You understand what I'm saying? And so I think a lot of these things are just major distractions from what is going on. Now, I'm not the biggest news buff. So you won't be catching me on here trying to do major journalism because, at some point I got to keep my anxiety at a level where I can function, where I can think and where I can have my creativity because I do not have major creativity when I am anxiety ridden, right? I have to be in a peaceful place when I am creating things. And a part of my job, um, you know, I have to be creative. So all of the things that are going on right now, I think you need to be focusing on putting yourself in the best position. And I'm going to tell you what we do as women. Because we are emotional, we just will accept relief sometimes by any means necessary. It don't have to be real relief, like the Alka-Seltzer relief. It can be any relief that can give us just a moment, but we got to get that under control. And this has a lot to do with our habits. I just believe that, really, to be honest, you should have already stepped into the space where you were cutting back on some things. Y'all see me with these bare nails. That's not my usual style. However, it was something that I felt like I could cut out of my budget that wouldn't take me under. You understand what I'm saying? And the small things count. Yeah, $150, $160, whatever for nails and possibly a pedicure. That's small potatoes. However, I guarantee you it'll buy you a carton of eggs. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's some other things. That's not the only reason, but I wanted to allow my nails to heal, and I'm just taking a step back from some of that. But I'm able to also recoup some of that money that I was pushing out for what we call self care. Now, let me tell you what I'm not saying. I am not telling you that you got to be like Scrooge McDuck. Just every little bit of little itty bitty little dime you can't go. You can't. But what I am saying is a lot of our retail therapy, we need to kind of put that on hold for a minute. I mean, I'm talking about major shopping sprees and making ourselves feel better. We need to get in the habit of self-soothing. When my kids were small, I did a little bit of that with them. And I'm not saying that we are children, but some of the actions that we have are not maturity when we start feeling bad. Maturity says you learn how to self-soothe without having to do any outside action or spending. You know how to sit down somewhere, get still, go in your prayer closet, or whatsoever it is that you do that you won't have financial consequences, health consequences. You see what I'm saying? You ought to be able to self soothe. But some people still don't get it. Some people ain't getting that. I don't know whether it's a recession or a depression that is all the way up on the back of our necks at this point in time. It ain't coming. It is now. Some people, and it's us, sis. It's us. Some of us still ain't getting it yet. They ain't bought now seed. They bought some shoes. They ain't bought now bucket shoe. What the last farmer told us? Y'all need to get a bucket or a shoe or something. I'm buying both to try to stabilize or put something in place where we can eat round here. Something that ain't gonna take us out of here. Some of us still aren't getting it.
I did a bit of retail therapy today. I keep spending my daggone money. Hello.
Guess who went and spent some money she had no business spending? I did. So do you guys want to see what I got? Let's start with
2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. According to my calculations, retail therapy is way cheaper than real therapy. So, girls, let's go shopping! I'm already feeling healed.
So, yeah. But no matter how many of us don't get it, there are always going to be those faithful few that do get it.
Did you know that not spending money just naturally improves things in your day-to-day life? I've been doing No by 2025 and I've noticed that I'm a lot happier. I'm happier because I'm saving, duh. But I definitely enjoy my apartment more, I enjoy my things more. It feels like I'm shopping in my home. I picked out a book from my bookshelf that I had no idea that I owned. My cooking skills have improved because I was one of those girlies that just kept using DoorDash. But yeah, I'm rediscovering things in my home. The other day, I was genuinely playing with my cats. Like I was throwing a toy back and forth. I got the wand and they were just so happy. Just today, a neighbor knocked on my door Him and his wife gave me a book of poems that they wrote. He said, "Welcome to the neighborhood." He told me he's tried to come by and say hi with his wife a couple times, but I'm never home. But now I'm inside. Not only that, but paired with Kylie Perkins, my home is also clean. It just feels good. You know, you can get tricked in the beginning into thinking that you're lonely and sad and broke. But after you get through that hump, you realize you're saving, you're happy, and you're safe. Of course, there's a time and a place to go out, but it doesn't need to be an everyday thing to a point where you're just wasting money. Save your money.
So this brings me to my next and maybe final point. Maybe not my final point, but my next point for sure. When you are not spending money, yes, you can save it, but you also need to be trying to gig, gig them up, gig it up, whatever you want to listen. I don't care what you call it, but there needs to be an additional flow of income from somewhere. I don't give a doggone if you DoorDash, get you a bike, a scooter, it does not matter. Because at this point, you've got to find some way to offset your funds in a positive way. Okay, the spending is bringing a little bit of an influx of funds back into your account, but what else can you do? I don't give a doggone if you can draw, if you can. I'm very crafty. If you make reefs, whatever it is that you can do with your hands, because see, that's the one thing that AI cannot take over. And we love us some Chat GPT and AI and Alexa and all them good people. But what one thing that they cannot do, they cannot replicate many of the things that we are doing with our hands, that intellectual property, that skill level that you have, your education, the things that your grandmother taught you, those recipes that have been passed down. I'm gonna tell you, we what is it? There's a saying that says, um, necessity is the mother of invention. And my dad used to say, need more. Let need more get in behind you, and you'll get real creative about your life and about your money and about how to go get some, right? Now, what we are not trying to do, those civilized folk, those of us who don't look good in stripes and we don't look good in orange, we are not trying to go out here in these streets and do anything against the law. We're trying to work, what do they say? We're trying to play the hand that we are dealt, right? In a lawful way, in a legal way, somewhere where we ain't got to be walking around with a ball and chain on our ankle, right? Or the technology that can track you, the real chain on our ankle, right? Get the gigging, because if your money is like mine, which it is finite, it is not infinite. Yes, I have many inadequacies when it comes to, if you put me up against a billionaire. Absolutely. I do all right. Yeah, I do. I do pretty good. You know, I'm able to have some things. I'm able, yes, but yeah, right? Whatever it is that you can do in addition to what you have that is stable. Okay, you got your 9 to 5. What else? This is the season of what else? What else can you do? Right? And he makes another valid point that I think that we need to consider. We'll look at the last clip from the lead farmer. You know how somebody can have a show that really hits deeper than maybe they intended it to. I mean, that show, of course, he was doing his thing. You could hear the birds chirping in the back. I was like, what is all them birds going on? What child, he got some quail that he raising. Say he got some chickens. I'm like, yeah, and this man has been doing this for years. He has been talking about these times, and I will even venture to say that this is going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. But he's been doing this and being a survivalist and growing his own food and protecting his home. And by the way, that's my next point. I believe in some protection in every area. I believe in some insurance. When I was dating, I believe in that kind of protection. As it relates to my home, I believe in some pieces. And y'all know I ain't talking about no peace as in peace be still, right? I'm talking about the other piece. Listen, it's time to get into that frame of mind. It has been time to get in that frame of mind. But let's check out the last little point from the lead farmer that really, I was like, ugh, this is, yeah, this is something else. This is a trip right here.
And the biggest thing is what you're seeing right now, they do not care. I need you to understand about one thing. Now, I don't care what you like, who you love, and who you voted for or who you didn't vote for. I even see people say, oh, it's two heads on the same coin. Whatever you feel, you do know one thing. It's one thing, no matter who you voted for, what side of the aisle, who you care for, who you love, or who you hate, we all can agree on one thing. None of them care about us.
So, can the church say amen? Oh, yeah. I mean, what do you say? What do you say to that other than amen? Um, I think it's high time that we understand that and that it is your responsibility to take care of self first and family. Charity starts at home, you guys. And it's not time to be looking for a handout. This is, and I've said this on other platforms, that this is a time for sovereignty. And it's good and it's bad because I believe that we are all going to be tested for our limits. And it's going to make big girls and big boys out of us. Either that or is not, right? Either you're going to go and do something else that just don't make any sense otherwise. But I believe that he's right, and apparently so, with all of the rapid fire things that have been going on, whether that means, i.e., our government, whether that means, i.e., our food, whether that, I mean, health care, our elderly. The list goes on and on and on. And we have to understand, what does this suggest? And I'm not talking about to the one percenters. I'm talking to the people like you and I who work or are entrepreneurs or we gigging, we doing things to try to make ends meet. You're just trying to support and feed your family, right? We talking about us. So at this point, you really got to be serious about life if you have not already gotten serious. It's like yesterday that you should have begun to adopt this mind frame that you need to be putting your hands in some dirt. I might have a friend, her handle is back to the basics. That's where we got to go. Back to the basics. It's time for you to be putting your hands in some dirt so that you can be sustain your family at least to some degree, right? And then the money that we do have coming in, we've got to learn how to do some things differently with that. Asked a question. I was talking to my older brother, and I was asking him. I was like, where did our family get off? Um, where do we get off wrong financially? Where do you think it began? And we've all done significantly well. I mean, my siblings, we've all done significantly well better than our parents because, it is said that every generation should be better. And it is. However, I was just I'm the deep thinker in the family, right? We all kind of think a little deep, but I'm that one. And I'm just wondering, okay, what happened? Why aren't we the billionaires? What? And so my oldest brother was saying, yeah, I mean, our parents, they didn't know how to teach us financial literacy. We had to learn a lot of this on our own. They just didn't know. All they knew was how to go on a job, try to hold that job down, and you know take care of us the best they could. They didn't know a lot about the stock market and how to put things into life insurance and to do all these different things. So I said, okay, that's fair. That's fair. But now our children, my siblings, our children, they are getting it. A lot of our kids are like, okay, yeah, so 401k, but what we talking about, we gonna put our money right here and we gonna do XYZ, we gonna do this, that, and the third. I'm like, wow, can you teach me how to do it? Because we got millennials and Generation Z, so they like, we ain't working the job for ever and a day. Who going somewhere for 20 years, my friend? So yeah, I mean, and if we ain't careful, it's gonna be some sad singing and flower bringing if we don't get our rear ends in gear. I'm talking about like yesterday. I was gonna talk about something else, y'all. I promise y'all. But this thing, I was like, no, my girl, you need to have something to say about what you need to react in the power of the moment about what you're feeling about what this man just said. Because what he has said is definitely it's been impactful. And I don't know whether y'all thinking on this wise, but I'm gonna tell you, us colored folks in Chocolate City, we need to really we got to get on the ball. We got to get on the ball. I ain't lying. And so listen, I love y'all so much, and I am so excited that you guys decided to spend this little time with me to talk about the lead farmer and all this stuff that we got to do. We got to get to work. You understand what I'm saying? And that's all I got to say, you guys. I save your money. Get your hands some dirt. Listen. But listen, if you have enjoyed, chuckled, or been entertained by my show, make sure you reach down there and click that like button. Make sure you also subscribe to my channel because I want to see y'all face back in the place the next time I am here. And if you got something to say, listen, put it in. Let's talk in the comments because I know I ain't the only one like, okay, this thing getting ugly, right? But listen, I'm just telling y'all this just so you know. And I love y'all so much, and I will talk to you guys back real soon. Bye for now.